So today we are reviewing the July 31st ES review. So the overnight sessions, right? So it was kind of a sideways move, choppy move. There are some subtle trades like here and then here where the supply has shown up, and then you can take a shot here. But anyways, I'm going to mainly focus on the US session. So nothing major moves has happened. Like it kind of couldn't break the yesterday's high twice thrice actually, and then it broke the 2 day high. Basically, my gray plus bars are my yesterday's high. You can see YH, and then the blue pluses are 2 day high. So there was a choppy move. So you can see that I'm in Pacific time zone. That's why you can see my timings are like 5:55, 6 o'clock. So 6:30 is where our US session starts, like 9:30 EST, and then 6:30 Pacific time. So I wake up. The first things I observed is okay. It broke the resistance line, this one, and it kind of was playing around this one. And the first things that I draw is overnight low and high, right? So this one is my overnight low. So I draw this one. You see that O and so I draw this line. And then the other thing that I observed is there is a support line. Somehow the price action was holding around this area. We don't care the reason, like we just our idea is like when the morning before you start trading, these are the key points that I try to identify. So because it touched thrice, see this one. So this is my support line, and this is before the US sessions happen. It isn't very much clear whether who is in the picture, like whether it's who buyers or sellers, like whether it's a demand or supply. When I say buyers, it means demand. When I say sub sellers, it means supply, right? So but I observe this one. So I have these two lines drawn, and the US session happened in the morning session. See this one, huge supply comes up, breaks the support line. Okay, my idea is as soon as it breaks, my idea is I don't trade the breakout bars. My idea is whether a weak pullback happens, like a small bar happens here with a low volume, and then I see that one, and wait for it. So but nothing happens. The this the this as soon as this one breaks up, you know that this is a huge good volume, and then again the another support is broken. So two supports gets broken. Again, what am I looking for? A weak pullback. Okay, so this is what I'm waiting for. So the first bar happens, a 640 bar. This tries to break the overnight low. Couldn't do much. And then the 645 bar, it goes all the way up, but supply started closing. I was able to close it below our overnight low. So overnight low means nothing but this. You just draw a line from the overnight low. That's it. So there's no brain or that you need to put in the logic. So this one, right? This is the trade that you can take, right? And typically these are the such trades that you have, like when such it goes all the way and closes below. This is kind of an upthrust, right? So and you can take a trade, especially the volume is also comparatively the volume is not too much, right? So it's low volume, and you could have taken a trade here, short here, but the important thing that you need to observe is see this bar. It has an higher volume compared to these two bars, right? So sparkling. So as soon as you take a shot here, it goes down, down, down. You are happy. You're in your profit. But see the volume, the demand, the buying came up and then started pushing up and up and up. As soon as you see this higher volume, I mean, if it's a weak volume, that's fine. You could hold on. But if it's a good increasing volume compared to this previous bars, you need to exit out. That is because that is important that you exit out such trades, because you never know that this is gonna happen. It could have all the way gone up, right? So but okay, this happens. See that huge demand came up, but still it could not break this one, meaning that this somehow this bar is this resistance is holding. and see the next bar. So if you are out of this bar, you have made a small profit or break even. That's fine. And the next bar, see this one. This breaks this resistance. But see with how much volume. It is the lowest volume on the chart, right? So it is the lowest volume. It is compared to these bars, meaning that there is no buying at all. No one is buying. Okay, and this is important. As soon as it is start coming down, this is where you can take a shot. It is so you could ask me a question. Hey, it broke this line. Am I not bullish now? It broke the support resistance. Yes, it broke the support line, but two reasons, right? This it held this the blue line held for 3 bars with all this volume, and the breakout volume is not that much thing, and then now it is coming down. So if it had been really broken out, why is it coming back again, right? So that is my rationale. My rationale is it could not break in these 3 bars. Even the breakout bar is so less, and then as it start coming down, this is this in this bar you can take a shot. Actually, in fact, you don't need to wait until this breaks down. You can take a shot here, right? And okay, so it starts coming down, then coming down, and typically when such parts comes up, I look up for the 1 hour charts to see where my target would be, and my target was around 3229 area. So 3229, 3231 to 3229 area. So you could hold on this one, and then see this one, and this bar comes up, and as it goes under and then starts closing up around like this area, I'm out of the trade. So okay, now meaning this is what does it mean? So then this means the demand came up here, right? So demand came up, very good. And the next 4 bars, it kind of moves sideways. See the volume? There's not much volume, meaning that nothing is happening. You don't know what is happening clearly, so you're just staying on silence. And this happens, and this comes under it. It closes above this one with a significantly higher volume compared to these bars. Okay, now my thought process is okay. So the first time it came up here, buyers came up and pushed up with increasing volume. They see the volume again. This part happens with this one happens, and then increasing volume in horses. At this stage, my thought process, okay, so this seems to be like a buying zone. So right, this is a good place where buyer people are buying it, right? And this bar happens, and this is an inside bar. When I say inside bar, it kind of closes, it's inside the previous bar. It's basically it's between the high and low of the previous bar happens. And then and see the volume, it's low, meaning that there is not much supply going on. And then it comes under and closes about this small tiny buying zone, the one that we spoke about, right? Meaning this is where you can take a trade. So, yeah, the important, see, if we had this bar had closed like this, I would not take a trade. Just because it came down and closed depot, I'm going to take a trade around this area. I'm going to put a long limit order around this area, and see my order is placed here, and it is now gone up. This one happens, nothing threatening. Then this is a small low volume down bar, nothing happens. Good, it's good, you're still holding it. And as it breaks up, I move my stop loss to here, close to zero. Okay, and then it breaks up, it goes up, and so these 2 bottles are low volume, I'm still holding my position. And this hypes, see the volume, this bar, this kind of breaks down with a good increasing volume. At this stage, I'm kind of out. People can hold it, some people hold it, some people, it all depends upon your own thought process here, your own. This is too much personal, you're whether risky player or not. Anyway, so this happens, and if you're still holding, do not wait until this see this one. This is another kind of a support, resistance, a resistance turn support here. So this one, right? So if you're holding, do not wait for all the way to come to this level. If it breaks this kind of line, you're out of this trade. You'd be out of this, or if not this one, if you're out of breaks this one, out of the trade. So anyways, Now, okay, now I'm thinking that okay, maybe because when I took a trade, my target is this blue line, right? So, but it did not touch this one, and then it started coming up with an increasing volume, increasing selling. Basically, someone is selling up, and see this one here, and see the huge supply that came up. You see the volume, which somehow something has happened at this time, and suddenly people start selling it out, and this bar happens. See the increasingly higher volume. Compare this volume with this volume. See, this has only this much volume, and the bar moved this big. But see, this the volume on this bar in this bar is almost double the volume of that bar, whereas the spread is only this much, right? So meaning that someone is selling. Basically, if it can't move to it should have been like this a big. Actually, it did not happen. So if you're not out of any in your long trade, if you're already not out, this is the place you have to exit, right? So you know that supply is there in this bar, supply is there in this bar, in this bar. So it's proving itself. Yeah, but you don't just wait all the way again done. Okay, so but don't take a I wouldn't take a shot here, because this is not anywhere closer to the resistance line or not. So that's why I do not take a shot. This is actually had this position been somewhere here, yes, you could have taken a shot. But like if it is somewhere in the middle of this middle of support and resistance, do not take a trade. Be a safer side. Why do you want to risk this all this big? So anyways, so it starts coming down. As it starts coming down, see this volume. See this volume. This is like the highest volume for the day, and it kind of held it here. Meaning, see, it couldn't move. Previous bar closed here, and then this could only move this much. The movement of the price has only moved this much, meaning that a lot of people are buying here. We know that because see that on our left side, this is a demand zone. We know that people will buy here, right? So basing on this thing, and then this happens, right? It dipped under and then closed above. I took a long here because of this shortening of thrust basically means like bars are kind of not going too big. Like this is a good spread, right? See this between this high and this high versus this low and this low, only this much, this small bar, even with such significant volume, it can move. Basically shortening of thrust, and at this stage it went under the rest support and then closed above this one. Okay, and this is where I took it long. And the next bar starts going up, but you see the volume has been declining. Okay, let's just still hold it. I was hoping a weak pullback might happen where you could have taken a long. So as you can see, the weak pullback has happened, but it broke the resistance, meaning that this is why it has happened, right? It's kind of a shock that a lot of people bought here, and then it still couldn't go up, and then it couldn't touch this one. There's a lot of selling has happened. It's kind of a shock that people, the buyers are shocked that okay, it is not moving up after all this buying, right? And no one is buying now, and then there are only sellers, like even with short volume. But anyways, so what happened was I took a long here. I took kind of a listen. I kind of held all the way through this one. It's a loss for me. I know this one. It's a loss for me because I took a long here, and then it's a small loss. But the reason I held here is because of the low volume. Had it been like increasing volume that is come up, I would have been out of the trade. But if it because of the low volume, I was expecting that okay, maybe this would go up, but it did not happen. And then it's a small loss. So that is important that you need to make sure you understand that if it is coming with a small volume, it is okay to hold. Okay, if it is coming with an increasing volume, get out of the trade. That is the trade management that you need to be clear with. So yeah, it's a small loss, but loss is it's a small loss. I don't need to say that trading and loss gains and loss are part of trading. Yeah, you know that one. Okay, so this happens. See that huge increase in volume, but the movement is only this big. See this one, the small volume, this was this much was the spread, and then with the huge volume, this was only this moved this much. And when I say spread, the length of the bar with so much, meaning what is happening, meaning that there is only the only rational thing is people are buying. So people are buying this one, right? After that, what happens? Okay, you there's nothing. You are just being aware that okay, people are buying. So at this level, you still see the next three bars kind of are low volume bars, kind of move sideways, nothing clear. This dips under and closes above, and see this bar as it starts going up, dips under and closes above. See, this is a risky play. I do not take such trades immediately. I just put it as a long here, because if you are a risky player, if you want to like take too many trades, you could trade it. If you are like taking a long here, if you're taking a long here, see these two bars with an increasing volume as it starts closing up, and then the closes are clustering, like as are basically did not move much, right? The price did not move much, so I would be out of these bars. After this bar, I would be out. Okay, but see what happens now. This bar happens, right? So this is kind of a test bar, right? So it's testing this buying zone demand area, right? When this thing happens, you know that because of this so big demand, and then this bar, you could take a long here. This is another place to take a long, and then where will your target be? And my first target will be this one. Okay, it's just a small target. If not this one, if you are still holding after breakout, my target would be this one. But I would be out of this trade if I had been taken along here. I did not take a long because of these two bars. High volume, low, I did not take. I want to wait for some more this thing. Anyways, but you know that the background has a demand now. You know that one. Okay, this bar happens. This is the first supply bar. Okay, you know this one. You're just keeping in mind. No trading. Okay, but it is not okay. It's a good bar. It's a good supply bar. As you see the next bars, nothing happens, meaning there is no follow through of this thing. Okay, basically the supply got resolved here. It goes in there. It tests this resistance line. I've drawn this line, and then and then there is not a good, because when you have to break out, you have to break the good volume. And then this one does not show good volume, and this happens. And would I take a shot? No, I wouldn't take a shot because of this demand in the background. That's why I don't take a shot. If you had been trading with the technical indicators, like all these indicators will show you that okay, yeah, take a shot here because of this thing. I wouldn't take a shot here because of this context, where it says that the context here is the demand is in the background, the buying is in the background. I wouldn't want to go against those people, right? You would want to win a war with a stronger team, uh, not with opposite going against them, right? So that's why I don't trade this one. Okay, yeah, it happens. And see this one happens as it comes down to this demand area. See this, when this shortening of thrust happens, see this good significant volume, three bars. This is where at the end, the close of this bar, you can take a long. This is kind of a test bar the low volume. When I say test bar, it's a low volume shock clustering of closes, and then my target area is this one, this um, resistance line. So because this is because it last time it couldn't break this one. See this one, if it had been broken, if this bar has happened here, I would have held it. But if when this one happens with an increasing volume, I'm out of the trade. I'm out of the trade because it couldn't break with an increasing volume. It went all the way up and then closed below. I'm out of the trade. Yeah, and then afterwards, I think because of some news or something, it starts going up. But after it broke out, I was waiting for a weak pullback here to see if it would come to this area.